nutrients ingested. It all just feels very heavy today. It just kind of goes on and on and on forever, doesn't it? There is no escape. Why won't this work? Even Tor's had enough. Oh, that's right. Headed downward, going downstairs. Why is the internet being so sluggish? Wonderful. done. I was going to say, that's not a good sign. Welcome back to a little thing I like to call music. Let's see which musics I own. So, Trist, possibly my favorite band. Citrina Bolest, 2008 cassette compilation that contains a number of hitherto unseen recordings, demo recordings. While it's not my favorite, it doesn't contain my favorite recordings, my favorite songs, it's still very valuable to me, simply because it's probably the rarest piece of Trist media that I own. It was fairly expensive, and I'm very happy to own this. Next, Korean Trist self-titled split. Now, this contains possibly one of my favorite songs. In fact, not possibly, I would say that Snany, the release on the Trist side, is quite possibly my favorite song ever released. There's something incredibly magical about it to me. And I was fortunate enough, a while ago, the Jan, the artist behind Trist, put out a re-release on CDR format of a number of both new, never before seen demo recordings, as well as re-releases of old material that was perhaps hard to come across. And for years now, I have been scouring Discogs to try to find a copy of this. So although it's not the original release, I still think it's very cool. It might actually be even more cool to me, especially considering the fact that I have 2 copies of it. Why, you might ask? Well, the first copy that I received unfortunately didn't play. There was something wrong with the writing to the CDR disc or something. I tried it both in my portable disc player and my larger sort of 3-in-1 CD tape vinyl player, and it didn't work. So I wrote back to Jan expressing, I wrote back to Jan and I told him this, and he was kind enough to just, I made 2 orders, and in the second order, I was going to pay for it. Of course I was going to pay for another copy, or at least, very least, the shipping. But he was kind enough to just include it for free in my next shipment, so that was very kind of him. Now I have 2 on the works. Now the Korean side of it, I believe it's Drowned in a Marble, Drowned in a Marble Lake, something to that effect. No, Drowned in a Lake of Marble Crosses. While I do enjoy Korean as well, it's just not on the same level as Snany for me. Snany is just a one-of-a-kind piece of art that I will never get over. And these releases are particularly interesting and cool because they came with signed Hello Kitty cards from Jan, which this is just my kind of humor. I thought this was just amazing. So thanks for your support, and from his wife and Jan on a Hello Kitty poster card. I thought that was incredible. As well as, possibly even cooler, comes with children's band-aids. If you know the band, you'll find that particularly humorous. As well as an image of one of his previous wounds, as well as sticker. Yeah, I just thought this is one of the, okay, there's also another How to Q sticker. I absolutely love this. I'm very grateful. The only negative is, unfortunately, the cases came cracked in the mail, all of them, and maybe bar one, so something, they would have been knocked around, but it's alright, the cases can be replaced, none of the actual discs were damaged. Next, Trist Steeny. It's probably nearly impossible to see the extra color, even I'm not looking at the camera, it's very difficult to see it as well. Once again, another Trist release, and I'm very happy to own. This one is an original pressing. Steeny is not my favorite, but it's of course great material. Happy to own that as well. Next, Life is Pain, Bloody Melancholy, a collaboration with Jan from Trist and Kim Carlson from Hypothermia, one of my other favorite bands. This this was a repressing that I bought recently, well, with the others. Not pressing, sorry. It's very cool to own this, as its original copies are quite hard to come by, and they sell very quickly, so it's cool to have this. And I find it humorous that on the inside it just says autism artistry. And a little flower in the corner from his wife. Next, another re-release, the Kredli Melancholy, something like that. I do not speak Czech. I don't have much to say about this. This one is very nice as well. Of course, once again, there are copies of this going around, but they're the price is fairly inflated on Discogs. It's pretty rare, but I thought I may as well get a copy in one of my shipments. Next, another Trist. Sepavrezhny Angeli, something like that. I think it translates to Suicide Angels. I absolutely love this release. This is beautiful. It fits the theme of this video actually quite well. It is incredibly, it puts you in a trance. It's just this unrelenting, there are only 2 songs on this, but it goes for about 40 or 50 minutes. Just unrelenting, just sound waves that just put you in this trance. Just absolutely monotonous in the most beautiful way, done extremely beautifully. And the cover is quite beautiful as well. These skeletal trees. Unfortunately, case cracked. That's okay. Case can be easily replaced once again. Now onto the new works. I bought a number of them, and I cannot, well, all of them. And these are works that are only on CDR and were very limited. So I won't go into too much depth, as there's not really much to say about them, but I'm extremely happy that I own these. material that cannot be found anywhere on the internet, only on these discs, and they all contain similar inserts. They're all signed. Veins by hypothermia. Great release. Again, hypothermia alongside Trist, one of my favorite bands. Kim Carlson is one of my favorite artists. I like his other side projects. I have some of his other work here as well. But just great material. Amazing depressive black metal, which is great. From Australia, Streetwalk, A Tragic Journey Towards the Light. But I don't know if that's the original title of this. Oh, it's a split between his original name, I believe, Nefaria, and Streetwalk, Tragic Journey Towards the Light. I love the mix on this. It's this extremely hollow, tinny, classic black metal sound with just this evil, absolutely evil atmosphere. Super, just drowned in reverb, super hateful. It's great. Wow. Investigate Suicidal Emotions, one of the pioneering force in the depressive black metal scene. This is an amazing, well, funnily enough, with this release, there aren't many that I can say such a thing about, but the first half is great. The second half is fine, but in my opinion at least, the quality drops drastically. The first song, Depression Part 1, is good. Betrayed is just one of my favorite. Betrayed is one of my favorite songs. That is amazing. But then Depression Part 2, as well as Despondency, I'm not the biggest fan of. There's nothing wrong with them. They just don't hold up. They're slightly generic, I have to say. But the first two songs are so incredible that they make up for it. And Episcate was really, as I said, one of the pioneers of the depressive black metal. He was the first person really to put that. Now it's cliche, trite, and boring to have your cover feature yourself with cuts all over your arms shirtless. But this Shane Rout, who passed away recently, was the first person to do it. Although this is not a photograph of him, this is someone else, but he was the first person to do it, I believe. Actually, I have no idea if that's true. I think it is. Doesn't really matter. Kim Carlson, one of his side projects, Ritual Maud. This Is Not Life Lover, released last year, I believe. I like this. Great release. It's not exactly black metal. Like Life Lover, it's a sort of mix of post-black metal. This one incorporates almost some stoner rock elements as well. But it's a very nice release. I also have a shirt of this. I need to take more care of mine. I have a few band shirts, but they often stay crumpled at the end of my bed. I need to take better care of them. Goat Moon, Death Before Dishonor. This is a great release. I think think Goat Moon is technically an SPM, but I couldn't resist purchasing it when I had it. It's just such a, the drums, the cymbals, the hi-hats in this, and the shrieks, they're just, yeah, they're amazing. I love this release. More King Carlson. My back is hurting. God damn it. I can't get comfortable with my posture. And the neat life is catching up to me, it seems. Hypothermia Cold. Not one of my favorite releases, but it's very solid. It's also sort of very monotonous, as is King Carlson's style. It's meditative, it puts you in a trance-like mind state, and just very, very beautiful, slightly more atmospheric black metal. Or even, I think at this stage he was transitioning slightly more towards the post-rock side. In his later years, early years, Hypothermia was very much raw black metal. Later years transitioned a bit more towards post-black metal, sort of post-rock. This sort of toes the line nicely. This is a good release. Niente. This is a good release. I don't think it's very well known. I got it from Bandcamp label. I cannot get myself in the Reflection. War Against Yourself. They have some pretty good releases. Some of them are quite generic, but I thought Niente was great, as it's directly inspired. Even as soon as I started listening, I could tell, but then it even says in the Bandcamp description, inspired by Tristan Hypothermia. Actually, I believe I snorted ketamine off of this CD case. I can still see some very faint particles amidst the dust. Grausenkite, Helvetic. It's a compilation. Good release. I have a friend who is much more into B-Sod than I am, but I do from time to time enjoy Grausenkite. Primarily, as you can tell, I like depressive black metal, but when I want something that is a bit more aggressive and hateful, and Grausenkite is amazing. Very raw, atmospheric, incorporates synths a lot. Very cool samples. Yeah, Grausenkite's great. And there are even more. Another Streetball release, Solitude. This one's great. This one is a lot more atmospheric, and it incorporates a lot of very eerie, atmospheric sort of interludes between songs that create a wonderful atmosphere that match the cover. It's very dark, sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Monochromed, grayed out image of a forest at night. It's a great release. These ones that are further towards the bottom, I probably don't have as much to say about, as I haven't listened to these in a while. What do we have here? Oh, these are some post-its. Not post-its, like, here's postcards from these sort of releases. Ritual More. And of course, Zasta, To Violate the Oblivious. I love this release. I haven't listened to it in a long time because I got sort of burnt myself out in it because I listened to it so much. One of my favorites. While I'm at it, I may as well. So I also have Telepathic with the Deceased on vinyl. I won't get it out now because it's kind of annoying. My cat has knocked this over, and some of the edges is slightly damaged, which is frustrating. It was one of the newer repressings of it, so it wasn't all that much. It wasn't that much money. Still a good release. I don't think it was the best quality. The vinyls came somewhat warped already, but still, it's nice to own Zesta release on vinyl. Mutilation. Remains of a ruined, dead, cursed world, or soul? No, soul, sorry. This one I have not listened to enough to really comment on. Listened to it a few times. Digipack release. I don't love digipacks. I think that's what they're called. They look a bit cheap. But Mutilation is a great band, great early French black metal band. I don't even remember. These ones I can't really say anything about. I don't even remember what this band is called. There was a deal on Bandcamp where you could, it's like 3 or 4 CDs for $5 or $10, and you didn't even have to pay the shipping. It was a promotion to get these artists out. I've listened to them. They're fine. They're good. I can't really say much about them though. It's called Hatred. I should revisit these. They're not bad. Once again, Empty Life. I think I listened to this once. I have absolutely no memory of this one, so I can't say anything. Once again, this one, Secrets of the Sky. This one is not even really black metal. This is just something I got as. Oh, that's right. This was a freebie included with another shipment, just to get rid of excess stock. I don't remember liking this. I think I listened to the first track and haven't looked at it since. This similar item, sort of a German technical death metal sort of band. I like the digipack actually this time. There's no logo. It's just this artwork. The Deutsch Michael. Yeah, it was pretty good. I've listened to this once or twice. Nothing wrong with it, but not for my style of music. And finally, actually not finally, there's some more. Austere Till I Like Old Ashes. I loved this years ago. This, when I first started listening to black metal, this is one of my favorite releases. Great Australian sort of slightly, it's not exactly black metal, it's kind of post-rock, post-black metal, but great stuff. Incorporates clean vocals in a very interesting way that you don't see that much with black metal-esque releases, but it's done in a very tasteful way that I don't think detracts from the atmosphere. Now on to tapes. There are not that many, there are only a couple. Solitarian, Forest Hermit. This is a wonderful release by the Extinctionist Records, who makes wonderful very underground black metal. I was actually I was lamenting to my friend just yesterday. I was looking up some of his work, and thankfully most of it has been kept off of YouTube. off of any social media, you have to know where to find. You have to either order tapes through his Discogs page, or he has a SoulSeek page where most of his downloads are. And so I've archived them all. But this is a wonderful release. I love his work. I really want to delve deeper into his discography. It's also great, very, very raw, very simple I mean that in the best sense. Simple, raw, hateful. A lot of the times very experimental as well. It's not simple but experimental. Great release. Kyla, Glory of Negativity. Another release by Kim Carlson. I don't know if this predates Hypothermia or not, but this is a great, extremely, extremely raw, depressive, monotonous black metal release from, I believe, 2004, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around that time. This is it, and this is great. Morgan Carlson, Hypothermia, Kaffe och Blood 2, Coffee and Blood. Don't have much to say about this one. It's great. Standard Hypothermia. It involves quite a lot of clean guitar work. Sort of builds to quite a lovely crescendo. I recommend listening to it. Weed Wizard. Blood contamination. I got this on Grouse and Kite's label. It involves a number of covers of his work, one of which it contains, yes, Goethe Krieg, something like that, I don't know. Grouse and Kite cover, I love that. It's one of his piano works. One of my favorite songs. I don't own any original Grouse and Kite material because it's quite rare and expensive, but I own a cover of one of my favorite songs of his on Weed Wizard, Blood Contamination. I must admit I bought it purely for the name. I just love the name Weed Wizard too much I couldn't resist purchasing it. Is that everything? Oh, there's also Different Trist with an E, Audial Suicide. I have not listened to this one in probably 2 years, but it's, if I remember, it's once again depressive black metal, quite raw. Should know my taste by now. I should give this a re-listen sometime. Don't have anything else to say about it. Yeah, so that's the music. free. Foreshadowing. A little bit of foreshadowing. Weather is intimidating. It's good to reflect on how small and insignificant the powers I really am. Unfortunately, my solitude is somewhat interrupted in the distance. There are other people sheltering. I'm sort of in football stand, like on a tiered steps, so I'm sheltered from this torrential downpour. But it's very peaceful. This has to be some of the strongest rain I've ever experienced. I would be soaked to the bone in silhouettes if I were to stand out there. That is the lightning. Wow. It seems to intensify every second beyond what I would have thought was the apex of what it was possible to reach. At least my cigarette can keep me company. I heard my cat is inside. It's truly ferocious. I'm having to almost yell to speak over it. Pulsing almost in intensity. I wonder what causes that. It's sort of slowed down, and there's probably going to be another vicious burst in a second. The only light source I have is lighter, which can't illuminate anything. I wish I had my proper camera here with me, so I could try to illustrate just how it is. Although I'm sure it's coming across just as well. In terms of the sound of it. Oh, massive. That's very close. Even as a self-professed bibliophile, this is a bit much for me. I'm grateful I chose to shelter here. I was going to sit out in the open. I would have been completely trapped and soaked. Ferocious rain.